Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to leave a like. It's a free and easy way to support the channel. Don't forget to subscribe as well. And yeah, where we currently are is a little bit ridiculous. I know you've heard me say it before. I don't know why I'm singing. Over the course of the last few years, okay, cool. The amount of Bitcoin, I'm telling you, this is crazy. I'm going to try and calm down. The amount of Bitcoin on crypto exchanges has continued to decrease. The amount of Bitcoin being bought up by companies and institutions has increased. We are seeing, and believe me, listen, hear my words and hear them good. I am also confused. I also don't completely understand exactly what's happening or how it could happen or how we've gotten to this point. There's you know how we have those like on-chain analytics companies? We have Glassnode and Sentiment and the third and fourth name. Recent data has revealed that approximately 74% of Bitcoin in circulation, I'll get into that in 1 second, 74% of Bitcoin in circulation, 3 out of every 4 coins, is now classified as illiquid. These coins aren't moving. When I said I get back to it, and it's because I know a lot of new people are here. How's it going? A lot of you probably don't know or don't remember that Bitcoin has a bit of a weird early history. So while there will be technically only 21 million coins ever created, don't forget that the last Bitcoin isn't going to be minted until the year 2140. So what's already out there is already being scooped up. In the early days, when Bitcoin was worth less than a penny, a lot of people didn't care about it. Surprise, it was worth less than a penny. So a lot of people actually lost their early Bitcoin. You've heard a lot of the stories. The guy lost it in the landfill. This person lost it here. This person did that. Those kinds of things. And it's estimated that 4 to 6 million Bitcoin is lost and gone forever. People keep forgetting about that really like commonly all the time. This basically means that there's around maybe 15 million Bitcoin for 8 billion people. The problem there is that the next million or so Bitcoin, I think it is, will take over 120 years to actually mine. The other news that this is a whole forgetful news kind of thing. We got news a month ago that 91% of all Bitcoin is being held by whales, rich people who've been buying constantly over the course of the last 15 years. 74% of Bitcoin is now classified as illiquid. It's not moving. It's either lost and gone forever, or there are an enormous, as we've been seeing, amount of investors who've been buying for years, and they've never sold, irrespective of where prices are on any given day. When the prices are lower, they're actually buying more. When prices are higher, they're also still buying, and they probably will be buying for a very long time. When I said, like, I don't know how they're doing it either, we're in a very weird, precarious situation right now where we've undergone one of the weirdest and strongest and strangest transitions of probably any market over the course of the last 100 years, in that we got ETFs as a brand new asset class, which crypto has been around for 15 years. We saw all these people absorb huge amounts of Bitcoin, and then for some reason in the summer, prices began to trend sideways and even went down. multiple days, if you were watching this channel every day, multiple days we had news that the ETFs, regardless of where prices were, they were still buying a lot of Bitcoin. It takes, I think, $30 million to absorb the entire daily minted mined supply of Bitcoin. Multiple days, we heard that even when the prices were down and the ETFs weren't absorbing as much, because remember in January, we had like 800 million. On some days, even when they were only buying 27 million, 34 million, 54 million dollars, they were scooping up a day plus worth of Bitcoin being mined. That is never going to re-enter circulation because all these companies have constantly been buying them. I think it's probably witchcraft. This isn't a joke. How these people have been able to buy up all this Bitcoin and still make sure that prices don't move. The reason for this article about Bitcoin being illiquid is because Bitcoin has never been this illiquid before. There's usually always tons of Bitcoin moving around, and that is continuing to slow down, and it's literally coming to a halt. Why is this news? Because not only is it incredibly bullish, but it's incredibly bullish. If you have 3 out of every 4 coins not moving, it basically means that the other 25% is going to be fought over by the people who want Bitcoin, the companies, the other institutions, the everyday normal people. Once Bitcoin begins to pump, we've seen this trend before. This explicitly isn't brand new. We had news years ago that 35% of the Bitcoin supply was illiquid, 42%. We've never had 74% before. It signifies that, similar to the other video where we've been seeing that Tether has been creating a large amount of stable coins and throwing them onto crypto exchanges, it typically signifies, from Tether's point of view, the need for liquidity from traders who are doing it. But the opposite end of there being less Bitcoin means that there is less Bitcoin to go around. It makes it a lot easier for prices to pump really dramatically because everyone's fighting over scraps. That's the takeaway, if you will. I personally wonder over the years why news like this isn't more popular or discussed. I see a lot of, and I know I make fun of it sometimes, but it's true, I see a lot of Fibonacci this and cup and handles and Bart Simpson and declining this and golden ratio, cross ratio, death cross ratio, and all these other kinds of things over and over and over. And it's not that they don't always come true as much as they aren't always correct or extremely accurate. Many people in crypto, not only are they not paying attention to everything that's going on, but I notice whenever we get anything about the actual, like, real news, have you noticed on many days when we get news that Bitcoin is being bought up by central banks, no one seems to actually care? That's a huge thing. When you hear about all these banks who are offering cryptocurrency and Bitcoin buying and selling services, that's confirmation that that bank, if they want to sell you Bitcoin, that bank has been buying Bitcoin. Do you think that they only bought one? Do you think they only bought 100? Do you think they only bought a sufficient amount just for you and your friends to walk in and buy? Or do you think they're also buying it for themselves as well? The other portion of this liquid supply, the 25%, is also people who are trading their Bitcoin, who have bots or they're trading it themselves, who also never really plan on giving it up, completely. I know I've met a lot of people over the years. I don't know these people explicitly anymore. Their main job is to either trade altcoins and swap that money into any profits they make, they goes into buying Bitcoin, or they use the Bitcoin that they have because the market is more liquid comparative to Ether and XRP and all the other ones, and they make a good 10, 15,000 per day from trading. and that money like goes to the side. Like they keep all their Bitcoin. Yeah. So this is from an article from the ETC group talking about the ongoing supply shock and how like people just really aren't kind of understanding what's going on. But I think that's also by design, as we've spoken about before. I think a large portion of everything, if we can be, this isn't a crypto exclusive kind of thing. This goes for all markets. You buy in secret. You buy when no one else is paying attention. Like not even like the Warren Buffett saying of buying in the streets when there's pudding or whatever he said or something like that. It's more of you buy constantly when people aren't paying attention, and you make sure that you own everything in silence. It's similar to that story from the guy who runs LVMH. He in the 90s was buying it took him like a decade and some. He was buying the majority of multiple companies in silence on the stock exchanges. He did it without anyone noticing until people started ringing alarm bells because their stocks were illiquid. There were some days where some of these mega stocks in the 90s, their daily trading volume was maybe $1 million, and people were like, "What's happening to this company?" It's because over a decade, if you take a piece every single day, eventually the cake is gone. And he owned the majority of all these different cakes. How do you think he has so many different companies? They actually had to change the laws in multiple places because of it, because he figured out how to do this in the USA, and he was like, we can go do this in France. And they were like, whoa, buddy, you need to cool it down for a second. And this is what I think we're seeing here. I find it weird that I can provide this information to you. I can show you the articles. I can show you what's going on. I can show you what's happening. And I know that there are still people who are skeptical, or this will do absolutely nothing to them from a financial standpoint. If I told you, no, I don't even have to give you like a story. I know that people aren't paying attention. That's why I've been saying that I'm, especially last month as well. Sorry if I'm a bit too cynical all the time, or just more than I am. But I know that people hear this news and it means nothing to them. You won't even think of buying Bitcoin or shuffling around your portfolio or doing what needs to be done to actually make sure that you make it economically. And it's not meant to be mean. I saw someone saying before that I should cool it with being mean to people. If you think I'm being mean, I have a couple family members I need to introduce you to, because I'm like Barney. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not here to baby you. I'm not here to hold your hand. I'm here to give you the information every single day to help you figure out what you need to do to make more money. If you think I'm being mean, you must live in a meadow of flowers and roses and daisies, and you must take bubble baths every single night with flowers and candles around you. I can't. The world is in literal like economic turmoil. We're seeing the literal shift from the old system to the new system, and Bitcoin is at the head of the ship. In every conversation, we're not talking about banks buying up Dogecoin. We're not talking about 74% of Tron is gone. We're not talking about that countries are trading in Solana or Solana meme coins, and you still refuse to like acknowledge it and understand what's happening and really like take focus and aim for what you actually are trying to achieve. This is like the 8th time I'm saying this part this year. I'm terrified of seeing what the next 15 years are going to be like for people who've watched my channels. Because I know that only a fraction of people are actually listening and paying attention. I've had it my entire life, because and I know this is true because I read the comment section. I see people telling me about these other coins and this, and why are you counting out Cardano? And it's like, do you not see the news constantly of what's happening every single day? Have you not had enough of other crypto YouTubers lying to you every single day, daily, all the time. That's actually the point of the channels, is that I make sure that I bring the news so that there's no ambiguity, that you really understand exactly what's going on. And I'm not like, well, listen, 74% of Bitcoin sounds like a lot, because if you had a cookie and you cut off this much, that's not a lot of Bitcoin. Go out there, buy, because Bitcoin's going to $8 million, because that's what people want to hear. That's what Twitter and YouTube are littered with. I see other people's videos. I see them. They come up recommended. I see what they're talking about. Bitcoin's going to 9 million%. You got to buy today. You're going to be broke. And it's like, well, it's not untrue, but also like, stop being so dramatic. Everyone's talking about all these other coins. I've seen, I'm right here every single day. I've seen a lot of altcoins doing spectacularly terrible, especially the ones that I've been warning people about for the last couple of years. And there's so many articles and YouTube videos trying to assure people that this garbage is going to grow wings and rise up once again to the heavens. Every day we get news like this. Even on the days where I make videos on other topics, this is always in the news. Bitcoin's always being bought up. Bitcoin's always been illiquid. It's getting more illiquid. There's less and less on cryptocurrency exchanges. The rich people keep buying all the Bitcoin. They're going to have all of it. When I say that I'm terrified, it's because I know that in 15 years, most of you watching this will probably have no money. You will have spent it. You will have relinquished it. That's why I told you before, I cannot tell you what to do with your money. I will never tell you what to do with your money. But I saw people before during the last cycle. I told people, I said, if you take profits, if you cash out, if you get out of the market, please buy something that is cash producing. I don't care what asset class you go into. I don't care. As long as you buy something that is continuously making you money. And multiple people were saying they just wanted to take a nice vacation and buy a nice car. How'd that work out? How are those monthly bills working out? Remember that car that you bought 3-4 years ago? Now they have newer models of it. Same with cars bought in 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, all those like flashy sport cars. Did you see the video? I'm sure you can find it. This guy was saying, I forgot where he made his money from, but it was some company he was working at. One of the first things he did was he bought like a fancy sports car, like on credit, like he leased it. He wasn't the brightest bulb in the warehouse, and apparently he lost his job due to, I don't know if it was incompetence. Maybe I'm assuming incompetence. And he was saying that like for a while he had no place to live, so he had to live in his sports car. And it sounds crazy. The concept of him selling it and then like buying land or buying a small home somewhere, a studio apartment, didn't enter his mind. He was like, I need to keep this car. The first thing you need to do is buy an asset that's going to create money and passive income for you. But the problem is that a lot of you are going to be in this market and you're going to cash out money during this cycle. And you're going to waste it on absolute nonsense, and it's going to disappear. Have you ever seen those videos on YouTube or anywhere else with the people who've won the lotto? It's almost spectacular to like watch it happen. There was one video of this woman. I think she won, I want to say like 50-60 million. That sounds roughly around there. After taxes, she had around, I think 24-25 million. She bought a gigantic house. It was just her husband, and I think she had like 2 kids she was taking care of from another family member. It doesn't matter. But the house was made for like 16 people. And then she had to hire staff because she couldn't clean the entire thing herself. She had to figure out how to pay all these people, how to tend to like the front yard and garden and all this other stuff. And at some point she was like, I want to travel the world. Now the average person would go, all right, we got $21 million left. Let's put that into dividend stocks and property and make as much passive income as possible. You know how she wanted to travel the world? She wanted to buy a private jet. So she started looking at private jets for $9, $10, $11 million. And you sit there and you go, that's ridiculous. Who would do that? Mathematically, there's probably at least 15 people watching this right now who would do the exact same thing. And it's crazy because this was from like it wasn't an older TV show, but it was like 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You can kind of tell because like the video quality like wasn't the best. You know what I mean? Like when you watch the older videos, you're like, oh, how old is this video? That kind of thing. And I sat there looking at the plane and I was like, that plane looks old and ugly now. Like it looks dated. You would need to like have the money to buy a brand new plane. There was nothing in her mind that told her. And then I Googled because Google exists and I found her. I think 2 years after that episode came out, broke as a joke, like no money, zero, nada, zilch, like nothing. Because behind the scenes, she was also buying up tons of stuff that they weren't showing on the actual TV show. And then she had to like pay all that back. So now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think she tries to write books about financial freedom, the irony, because she's trying to find a way to get that money back so that she can live that life again, but no one's buying her books or her courses. So that's what I know is coming, and that's what I'm like really afraid of, is that everyone who has the chance to make literal generational wealth, generations. Do you understand what that means? It's literally forever money. It's not one generation wealth. It's generational. Like it keeps, like it's perpetual. It keeps on going because you made the right decisions, and therefore everyone else that comes after you will never have to struggle ever again. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm investing. I mean, this is literally like the main reason. I was handed nothing. I was given nothing. I received nothing. But I'm like, no. I'm going to stop that immediately. I'm going to break the cycle, and I'm going to make sure that economically I'm incredibly fine so that the next generation has it even better, and I can keep teaching and keep teaching. Where do you think all this Bitcoin's going? Remember all the news that we keep getting that every time that people sell, it's just retail. It's just normal people who are impatient with the market, who can't conceptualize buying and holding an asset for 10 years. It's completely actually foreign to them. It doesn't make any sense because everyone's so used to immediate gratification right now. So when we went down over the course of the summer, whales kept on buying. Long-term holders, I know who you are. I see you. Hello. They keep buying. My friends kept on buying. When the market goes back up higher than it was before, then retail jumps back in looking to make quick, fast money. These people make $50K from the market and they go and they waste all of it. And then it's all gone. And then they have to figure out a new way to, how do I make 50K? How do I make 100K? You know how many people are going to make 7 figures during this bull run? I'm not going to even name names. There are literal people who are like in the space who've been diligently like buying and collecting. And I know exactly who's going to make it. I know who's going to make it. Yeah. The amount of Bitcoin remains incredibly illiquid. We are actually witnessing the supply, like we're witnessing the supply shock right now. Like it's not like like electricity, like actually being shocked. It's more like like we're witnessing like it's diminishing. It's tightening. There's not a lot left. And all it takes, this happens every single bull cycle, is one large purchase to push Bitcoin above a certain area. All the other buy orders begin to pick up as well. And then the price just basically goes through the roof. It happens every single cycle. So I can't tell you not to be impatient. It's just more of I don't know. You got to figure that out for yourself because people will be disappointed in themselves at the end of this bull cycle. Anywho, yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you got something from it. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you left a like. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.